Welcome back to Tales and Fails Miniatures. Today we will be reviewing the Pathfinder's Battles Planar Parils set. I did not get all of the miniatures in this set, just the select few that I really thought stood out from this set, and I'm really excited about it, so let's get into it. Alright, let's get into this. So starting off, I don't have all of the ones I want, but this is what was available when I did order the individuals. I guess we will start maybe by splitting these.
Yep.
So these are the
Derakni.
The
Locust demons.
Yeah. And I just like these because I don't see a lot of demons in D&D by itself that are, more I guess not really grotesque, but more animalistic.
Well, and these are kind of like chimera in nature because you've got, obviously they're built as locusts, so that's the intention, but their wings are almost like dragonfly wings, less so than the locust, which fold up. They've got like these cool grasshopper bodies with the scorpion tail, so like they're these cool bug-like chimera demons that...
Well, and the body reminded me kind of like an Ankeg body.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say, is you could run these with something like an Ankeg as like, your soldiers, or as a young queen or something.
Yeah. There's
a lot of uses for these, and I can see them used in lower or medium level combat in a lot of ways. I think you can do a lot with them.
And that one's a little bit more basic. This paint job, in my opinion, is sweet.
I love this paint job. I will say I like the way the tail on this one matches. The tail on this
one's very...
sticks out a little. It just needs better blending.
Yes.
It's an easy fix. The backside looks fine. It's blended really well into the bottom.
Something I didn't notice is actually the pearlescent in this wings.
Yeah.
That purple pearlescent.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
That's what made it stand out to me as like dragonfly wings. Like even these look more locusty, but again, they don't look like they would fold up neatly onto the body.
No, there's no way for them to do that almost, but...
Yeah. I would be interested to see a stat sheet on these because I feel like you can do a lot with them, and they could be very dangerous, or they could just be, like you said, an upgraded Ankeg essentially. Yeah. They're also demons, so you can run them in any of your demon campaigns, any of your demon arcs, and they'd fit right in there as well.
And that's sometimes why I like buying the Pathfinder ones, is because it's sometimes a little difficult to transfer a Pathfinder stat block over to D&D, but you still can do it with somewhat ease. And these are just, all the ones I picked out are something that I feel like I can easily build a D&D stat block for that would be a lot of fun to run in a D&D game that we don't currently have miniatures or even a monster for in D&D. So,
and if you're like me as a DM, creating stat blocks for stuff like this is a lot of the fun in it, especially at higher levels. You can kind of throw whatever you want at your party and see what sticks.
Yeah, I mean, paralyzing tails out of some locust demons would be sweet. All right, I guess we'll go a little small here. I'm going to grab this guy. You can pick one as well, any of them that you want. I'm going to go with this. This is just a Hellhound. And I really like this Hellhound because it is fully clear. So it's meant to actually look like almost like a dried lava or obsidian bones with fire being the rest of it, which is really, really fucking cool, to be honest. It's just a really nice... I have a decent amount of Hellhounds, and I still think this is probably one of the better. It's extremely muscular, and the clear orangish red body is just really sweet, in my opinion.
Yeah, I feel like this was a good one to go alongside that. The Living Wildfire is just a cool, same as Hellhound. It's all clear, all flame. I'm a big fan of elementals, so this fits in with your elementals. This can be something summoned by a demon in a forest to wreak havoc. I can see, and again, a lot of ways this can be used, high, low, or medium levels.
Yeah, I think is what I liked about it is the fact that it's so much smaller than most of our fire elementals from Dungeons and Dragons. Like, most of them are, roughly this size.
Well, and even like that being one of our smallest.
Yeah.
Or if you take, like, I mentioned earlier the Fire Myrmidon. It's one of my favorites, which is kind of, it's the same as that with, here, I'll grab it. Yeah. It's very similar to that without the armor or swords, so it kind of matches well with that. Yeah. And this is something where you could use it as a boss in a low-level fight. particular, I'm thinking like you actually throw them in a forest fire caused by this wildfire, and then as they take damage and lose some of their form, you can have them summon armor and swords, turn them into a fire myrmidon, and kind of make that an evolved battle.
Yeah, and or just use it as a lower version of your basic fire elementals. You know,
Absolutely.
have it as something that was maybe spawned from a human soul, or something cool like that you can you can play it off in so many different ways, and that's why I really liked the fact that, number one, the fire looks phenomenal on it, the color's really good, and I think just for a basic fire elemental humanoid, it's a very, very nice miniature.
Yeah, I do like the fact that in the D&D minis, all of these fire elementals, you're going to see them come down and have these kind of flared floating bases where they kind of sit off of their own flames. I like that this one comes down to legs. It has a humanoid structure to it.
I don't think any of my other ones do.
Nope. I was looking for them, and I don't see any that have it.
No. You know what? This guy, but this is my Helmed Horror. So it's still a fire-based creature that is armored, but that's, I believe, the only one, and that's a Dwarven Helmed Horror, but other than that, it's mostly... Yeah, and I'll grab the other one. I actually got two of these. They're pretty cool. So this is the Living Landslide. So we have the Living Wildfire. They have a couple other ones that I don't think looked as good as these two. But the Living Landslide, in my opinion, was sweet. You can use it as an Earth Elemental. You can use it as... kind of like what we were just talking about with the Living Wildfire, is you can use it as like a human that was, turned into a Earth Elemental or something like that.
Well, and I like the idea, especially with a few of these coming through as demons. We've got a lot of those, so I'm going to kind of focus on attaching it to the set that it came with. But I really like these as, like, if you're facing a higher level demon and your party's not quite ready for it, these are things that you could summon and leave behind that are wreaking havoc in the material plane.
Yeah.
And really just be good low-level encounters that they take it away from a constant fight, and I love the idea of living natural disasters being a reason that natural disasters are happening. You throw your party a landslide with a living landslide. You throw your party into a wildfire in the forest with a living wildfire at its helm, making it so that stopping the disaster isn't enough because you have this sentient creature continuing to cause it.
Yeah, that's really...
And really, it forces a lot of... additional aspects to the combat, to the encounter outside of just hack and slash.
Yeah, it's not just another murder hobo style combat. It becomes, just solving, hey, how do you put out the fire and stuff like that. The creature keeps going, or how, why do these mudslides keep happening or landslides keep happening, and it ends up being a creature at the end. It just adds a little bit more to the story, which sometimes is really nice. And honestly, the paint job on these is super simple, but I think just detail in the sculpt itself really helps bring out everything to where it doesn't need anything special, because, just looking at it from a foot away, it looks really nice. These are just really good sculpts.
He may not like the other living natural disasters, but I have a feeling that I'll be picking up one of each of the natural disasters. I
believe the other one is a tornado.
Okay.
And the other one, I don't remember exactly what it is, but yeah, the other one literally looks like the tornado from Living Whirlwind, and
I assume there has to be a water one.
Yeah, I'm not 100% on what the other one is, or if there is another one, but I know that one of the other ones I did. And then the Living Thunderclap, which is a cloud with a face that has thunder coming down. So that's why I wasn't as big of a fan. A lot of the times that when I buy Pathfinder, it's because they do have a certain amount of really nice miniatures in it. Some of them, in my opinion, just look kind of goofy, and I still bought the Havoc Dragon, even though it looks goofy, because I'm a dragon fanatic. Which, speaking of which, again, kind of a goofy-looking dragon, but at the same time, very unique and cool. It looks like something that would come from the Underdark, almost.
Yeah, it's kind of got a wyvern-esque head to it, which I think is where some of the goofiness comes from, is it's got that, snakes-like posture where it's ready to snap outwards.
Its chest is so small that everything's brought in a little bit. It's got these long arms with such a small chest, but it still just gives a really...
It's very serpentine.
Honestly, if you changed the wings on it, I think it would be... I think the wings give it a fairy-esque look.
Yeah.
And if you put some sort of creepy demonic style wings on it, it would look almost scary. Like it's a creepy looking dragon, and then the wings just bring it back to the fairy-esque style.
So I feel like if I'm running this, I'm probably going to lean a lot into the serpentine nature of it.
Yes.
I imagine these wings as being something that it can ignite or unignite and get rid of some of this blue and kind of just lay the wings into itself and then be very serpentine. And like you said, somewhere like the Underdark, slinking through dark caverns, popping out, just creating havoc.
Honestly, a Yanti temple would be really cool for something like that they're worshiping it or they are keeping it as a guardian. I think that would be something that could be really cool.
And aptly named the Young Havoc Dragon.
Yes.
Absolutely, I could wreak some havoc with this and just create a sense of unease. And this is something where, like you're mentioning a Yanti Temple, we ran one in a jungle. You start having this pop up in the jungle occasionally, do a quick attack, and then dip out again through tunnels, through flying, through however. And you can really start to create a sense of panic before you even reach the dungeon with something like this. And then you continue to do it in the dungeon, and as the party realizes that this is a creature they're going to have to continue to face in the dungeon, it can add a lot of tension to an already scary situation.
And they are, I believe, coming out with an adult version, which I'm kind of stoked for, because I think the adult version will give a little bit more detail into what like the wings and stuff like that are supposed to look like. So I am kind of excited to see that as well. But I don't know what it was about this thing, but I really just enjoyed the way it looked.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to run by Minimart on the way out of here and probably pick up that because I have my own collection of dragons. I focus more on the young dragons because I have a different setup for my DMing, so I have a little more limited space, but the size on those is nice.
I don't believe they actually carry the Pathfinder individuals at Miniature Market. You actually have to get that from their website, but they do sell them as individuals on the website, not in person.
Which is fine. We'll get those ordered up.
All right, yeah.
Let's move on to the one that looks like a dragon. Now, when I first saw this, I thought instantly that it was some sort of dragon, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. I'll probably pick it up. This is not, in fact, a dragon. This is a Spectral Devil, and what we're looking at is kind of like a Pegasus. Mm-hmm. It's got these green flames around it and kind of like floating paint. They look like floating bone shards to me as far as what's painted in it. It's very much a horse. It's got the hooves. It's got the horse-like face. Kind of bone-structured, Ghost Rider-esque looking.
In my opinion, I think is what I love so much about that miniature is you could use it as a nightmare from D&D. It would be a really cool nightmare.
And this one, and I wanted to mention it with the Locust too, these are also great mounts for your smaller demons.
Yeah.
Especially being flying
I didn't think
mounts.
about that. That would be freaking sweet.
I would enjoy, and this is kind of going back to the Locust, I really like the idea of throwing them as a mount for a demon, because they're already scary in their own right. But you add a demon on there, shooting arrows or throwing weapons or even just slashing with a sword.
That would be wild.
And it adds a lot of danger to that combat. Takes it from a mid-level creature to you suddenly put a higher level demon on that. And sure, yeah, it's easy to take out the mount, but even once you do, you've still got to contend with a full level demon.
Yeah, I didn't even think about using them as mounts, but there's just so many good uses in D&D for something like this, and
I don't know what the stat block says, but in my mind, that's a fire-breathing horse.
I would say necrotic breathing horse, in my opinion. But
same difference.
Yeah. I'm going to hop over here to just gargoyles.
Yeah.
Pretty basic gargoyle. I have only, I believe, 2 or 3 gargoyles out of this whole freaking collection, which is a lot of miniatures. And so when I saw this gargoyle, it's a very nice-looking gargoyle as a whole. I mean, decent paint job, nothing special. I could use a little bit of a dry brush or something like that. But it's a really good-looking gargoyle as a whole. And that's why I was like...
Straight out of the 90s Gargoyle series. Yeah. Nice, solid musculature. Again, very basic paint job. It's just gray on gray with a little wash. I like the sculpt, though. They've got cracks along the wings that really make it look like stone along the
and a lot of my
quads.
D&D ones do that are, from Icons of the Realms. They haven't come out with a whole lot of them. So when I saw a Pathfinder come out with another gargoyle, I obviously like having 3 different gargoyles on a map or 4 different gargoyles on a map compared to having all the same one that you have to then try to keep track of as a DM. So having Pathfinder come out with one, why not buy, that gargoyle just to make it to where now I have 4 and you just use the D&D style stat. So.
Yeah, or the Pathfinder style stat. Luckily, there is a good amount of overlap there, and it's pretty easy to translate in most cases from one to the other with minor efforts.
Yeah, so.
Definitely a good looking mini. Let me grab this guy. Let's get some of these fire guys done. This guy is awesome. Pure flame sword. There is no metal in the middle of that.
And flame hooves.
Yeah, and the flame hooves is one other part that stood out. This is obviously a demon of some sort. This is the Brimorak. It's the Arson demon.
Yeah.
Could have guessed.
Yeah, could have imagined.
Any 22ers in chat? This guy is cool. Really cool armor on him. They've got 4 different colors on the paint, although one of those colors of paint is actually just the fire. But yeah, really good contrast. Cool beard and mane, kind of like a lion's.
It gives you that like Fey-esque look of like a it's not centaur. Is it?
I know exactly what you're talking
yes,
about.
The satyrs. It basically gives you a demon style satyr is what it comes down to. But then they have like a really like almost lizard or beast looking face that changes that from just being a satyr to something a little bit more wild. And then they have the purple skin, and it's very demon-esque while also kind of looking kind of fey. So you can twist that in so many different ways that I feel like could be a lot of fun.
Yeah. And also just a big fan of fire weapons in general, especially on minis, and the way that the fire prints are looking these days is so good. Like I think there's 3 ones that have just straight fire, and then there's the orange wings on the Locust. And I think,
and there is a couple more that in my opinion,
I'm a sucker for it.
There's a couple more demons in this set that are actually really nice looking. They're just very expensive, and I wasn't willing to spend like $30 on a single miniature for a demon. But
pick one.
This, I have something to talk about with this. So this I bought, this is the Demonologist. So they actually have the cultists to go along with this. They were sold out when I was ordering because I wanted to order like 2 cultists to go along with it. That instead of the red, it's all black clothing. So this is basically the leader of the cultists, and once they come back in stock, I'll buy a couple of the cultists to go along with it. And it's just a really nice cultist miniature. It's just, basic cloak with a couple of runes on it, reading a book with a spear.
Yeah, looks almost clean out of the D&D movie, which is a lot of fun. It's definitely got that kind of look to it. Here in my hands, I have the Vordine, which is the Infantry Devil. Not a ton about this guy. Definitely a good sculpt, good paint, and a really just solid, typical-looking demon. You can use
the weapon's very straight, I will say.
Well, it's nice because it's connected to both hands.
Both hands, yeah.
So you've got not a lot of bending space. It is a little bit of curve in the middle, but that's to be expected with these sculpts.
Yeah.
Really cool mini, though. Definitely worth a pickup if you have demons or need demons. 50-50 on whether I'll grab that one. But
yeah, and it kind of matches along with the fact that it has the hooves, the horn, stuff like that, so they fit, between...
I will say Pathfinder does a really good job of adding the hooved to their demons and devils. And so it's kind of across the board. You've got these hooved, double-jointed legs that very much make them stand out as your typical demon and devil.
Next year, I have the... I don't know. You read that.
I was say I've got the imp here. We'll start with that. It's simple and straightforward.
It's a raccoon person is mine, but
I mean, absolute minuscule details on this that you'll never see. Even when we do a zoom in on the camera on this, you probably won't notice it looking at it. Really, really cool though. I mean, it's an imp. It's a standard imp, but really
and that's
cool.
why I bought it is because having again, I think I have probably 3 different types of imps. Sometimes when you go into an imp battle, I mean, especially if you look at just like the Baldur's Gate series, I believe that one of the first fights you get into is 4 imps. And so a lot of my imps, I believe I only have 3 different types. Having another type of imp, it's just nice to be on the battle map, having a 4th type or a 5th type of imp.
As a DM, when you're tracking multiple different or multiple of the same creatures, having different minis gives you just an identifier to add to your sheet.
Man, they even gave him mutton chops and a goatee.
I'm telling you, the amount
the
of
detail is actually wild on something.
Even the detail on the sculpt, like the legs have their double jointedness.
Oh,
They've got the
full
hose
abs and a pack.
For how tiny that is, they went ham.
Yeah, there's a lot of detail in the muscular on that.
And this is the Procyal, the Raccoon Agathion.
That's why I couldn't pronounce it. That's why I told him to read it.
It took me, I don't know, you probably saw me muttering to myself there, trying to figure out how to pronounce it, and I thought of about 6 different ways, and I'm sure I still did it wrong. Either way, this is a nice little raccoon-looking fighter.
It's just cool. I like different style humanoids. I want my players to be able to play whatever kind of race they want, and if somebody's like, hey, I want to play a raccoon, dude, fucking do it.
Awesome, you're a fighter.
Yeah, you're a fighter raccoon. Here you go, boss.
Yeah, no, cool mini though. Really good paint job. Again, the sculpts on these are getting so much more detailed. The clothing has wrinkles and folds in it. I'm excited for the next 5 to 10 years of minis as printers get more aggressive and sculpts become more high quality. Like whether these are molds or printers.
I think they're printers off the bat and then molds afterwards.
Yeah.
I think is what it is. I've looked at a lot of miniatures and I've found very, very small like print lines in them. If you look really closely, sometimes you can see print lines. I think not all of them are printed, but I've definitely caught here and there some print lines, and then you can tell that it's mold. Like, I think this one's a mold based off the fact that each arm is different, each wing is a different set, the tail's different, it just depends on what they're doing, but I've definitely in Wizkids sets seen a lot of, not a lot obviously, because it's really difficult to tell, but I have seen the layer lines of a 3D printer.
Well, especially when you're using more than likely resin printers, your layer lines are almost invisible because as you're printing, it's kind of melting into itself.
Yeah,
and
so...
Alright, let's finish up with our fire-like creatures. This is our Magma Scorpion, and big fan right off the bat.
Yep.
I will say the Magma.
I wish it was clear.
Is not. Yeah, I wish it was the clear fire that we've been seeing because it looks so good, and I gotta say it just does not strike as much as I would like it to.
No, but if they would have made this a clear miniature and then done the black outside of it, that would have been absolutely fucking insane.
Yeah. Or even just use 2 different print plastics, like anything to. I would have loved to see this be clear orange.
Yeah,
because it really could have gone hard.
It could have gone 10 times harder than it currently. I mean, it looks really good. It really does. But if it would have been clear plastic with a black paint over the clear plastic in the areas where the black paint currently is, it would have been absolutely insane.
Well, and it's cool because they've got the magma dripping off the middle of the pincers, but with the way that it's done, it just doesn't
show as well as it should. It doesn't come off the way I think that it meant to be.
No, it's cool. If you know what it is, you know what it is. At a distance, it's a cool mini. When you're looking up closer, I think it looks more like dripping plastic. It looks like what it is, and that's sad, but it is still an absolutely awesome mini.
Again, when you're sitting 2 feet away from a table, it's still going to scare the shit out of your players.
Yeah. And you're not going to send that scorpion in alone. That's going to come crawling out of a magma pool or a magma river while you're fighting fire giants or any of our other fire creatures that we ran into here. My initial thought when we had talked about this set and the magma scorpion was that this is the type of creature that you might catch fire giants breeding.
Yeah, that would be really cool too, yeah.
Yeah, because they can be using that for poison, for hunting larger creatures, for, food if they want to eat any parts of it, for...
defense, for...
a lot of different stuff. There's as many options as you want for why a fire giant might be breeding those, but I looked at that and I said, man, I'd put that in a fire giant's home.
Oh, 100%. All right, this next one is the Famine Demon. I don't know the actual name. Meladaemon?
Yep, Meladaemon.
Yeah. So, this is the reason why I liked it. It's almost looks like a mutated werewolf.
Yeah.
It is, obviously has some sort of large necklace around its neck to where that could be like a magical item. So, that helps add.
Yeah. So, what I'm seeing here, and what I immediately thought on this, First of all, it looks like there might be a slot for a tail to go in.
Oh, what?
So something to maybe think about and maybe reach out to
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks like there might be a slot for a tail, which makes sense.
Well, right now it looks like a giant asshole, so...
Yeah, looks like a gaping butthole. But what I immediately saw is these really long fingers with claws. What looks like it might be a magical necklace. So my immediate thought, and you might be thinking the same now, is that this could be a hag werewolf.
Oh, that would be really sick, actually.
And that's something where you can kind of throw your party off and give them something like a night hag that's a werewolf as well. And really make them see signs of two different creatures and wonder how that's happening. Or maybe they hit the nail on the head immediately. And I promise you nothing will terrify them more than finding out the hag they're trying to find is also a werewolf.
No, for real. Yeah, unfortunately it is missing its tail. That is accurate. That sucks. Didn't know, well, I haven't opened them until now. We opened up the packs. That was the first time I'd opened up those bags. So, I will have to, luckily Miniature Market's customer service is wonderful. If you ever order anything off of there, email them. Usually they'll send you a new one. No, really cool miniature, and that's why I liked it is, number one, I don't have a lot of werewolf miniatures.
Yep.
And it's a really nice looking werewolf, great paint job. Again, just like Nick was saying, the extra elongated fingers just adds that little bit of extra creepiness. And I just think it's a really good looking, and you could even use it as like a mummy because it has like the wrapping and stuff. Like you could use it as an undead or something weird like that. There's so many different uses for something cool like this. So that's, I really think that miniature specifically is a fun one for almost any DM style. Like it could be a mummy, it could be a werewolf, it could be a freaking hag. Like, you know, I didn't even think about that. It's just really cool.
It could even be a Meladaemon.
Yeah. I mean, it could. Yeah. All right, last one here. I bought this because this is fucking awesome. It's another demon.
Yeah, I didn't see that initially. This looks like some of your scarier demons. This is the Sordesdaemon, the pollution demon, and I wish I knew its name. I'm not a huge Warhammer guy, but there is a couple of things in Warhammer that makes me think of this. But also, like, if you ever played Diablo 3, it looks a lot like Gluttony.
Yeah. Which
was a terrifying fight, but also this guy is big, grotesque, veins running across his belly, a bulging, bubbling on his back.
Yeah.
And a busted horn. You can see the internals of the horn.
And then they have the beautiful clear green spit coming out, or, you know, cloud. I mean, poison cloud, anything. I mean, you could use it as so many different things.
It almost looks like an acid breath, like liquid acid just being...
It's just super cool.
Out,
and so for a demon, just like in my head, I was like, when I saw it, I was like, I could use it as so many different things, make up my own stat sheet for it being a demon, and it could be absolutely epic, and no matter what. It's a great looking miniature, great paint job. The clear coming, anytime that they add clear to a miniature, it adds so much, so...
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of the clear plastic. The other thing I'll mention is alongside our living natural disasters, this would make a great head of like a plague and pestilence disaster.
Oh, dude, you're right. That would be
disease
super cool.
Traveling through the land, and it travels from city to city just as you'd expect it to along trade routes. And maybe it stands out that it's only going in one direction along trade routes and it's not moving further in any other direction. It's a single directional thing that eventually tips your party off to maybe this is another living natural disaster, just something that's absolutely decimating towns and cities around the world.
Thought, so. Alright guys, this is all that I've bought currently out of this set. If you do want to see the rest of this set, or at least more portions of it, please just let me know down in the comments. If you've made it this far in the video, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. We'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.